in a dramatic escalation of tensions in the Middle East. Iranian forces have exchanged airstrikes and missile launches with Israeli and U.S. military operations targeting Iran since March 1, 2026. The conflict has seen intense exchanges across multiple fronts, including Israel, Lebanon, Gulf states, and Iran itself. Key targets include oil infrastructure, such as refineries in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, as well as military installations and naval assets. The strikes have resulted in significant casualties on all sides, with at least 598 people killed according to available reports. Attacks from Iranian forces and their proxies, including Hezbollah militants, have also hit Israeli targets and caused further civilian disruptions in the region. In response, Israel has launched retaliatory strikes against Lebanon, leading to additional loss of life and property damage. Oil prices worldwide have surged by over 40% due to concerns about supply disruptions and continued uncertainty in the Middle East energy market. The conflict's impact extends beyond economic consequences, disrupting air travel and straining diplomatic relations between affected nations and their global allies. As the situation remains volatile with ongoing military engagements, both sides continue to assert their readiness for further action should the need arise. President Donald Trump has maintained that combat operations will proceed until all objectives are achieved, though specifics about these goals remain unclear. The unfolding crisis in the Middle East highlights the significant potential for broader regional instability and global economic repercussions if de-escalation measures are not swiftly implemented. The U.S. Supreme Court is considering a case that challenges federal law prohibiting firearm possession by individuals with a history of drug use. Arguments began on March 2, 2026, involving the intersection of Second Amendment rights and public safety concerns related to drug policy. At the heart of the debate are conflicting legal arguments about whether the ban violates constitutional protections for gun ownership. The case is unusual in its alliances, with groups like the National Rifle Association, NRA, and the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, teaming up against federal prosecutors who typically align more closely with gun control advocates. The key dispute centers on a Texas man charged with a felony for having a firearm while acknowledging regular marijuana use. This case highlights broader implications of federal drug laws, particularly in states where cannabis is legal for medicinal or recreational purposes. The law also applies to all illegal substances and does not differentiate based on the legality of specific drugs under state law. Cecilia Wang from the ACLU argues that the statute's vague definition of drug user potentially gives prosecutors broad discretion to charge individuals who use marijuana, even in states where it is legal. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice contends that habitual drug users pose a significant risk to public safety and should be barred from firearm possession. As the court deliberates this complex intersection between gun rights and drug policy, the outcome could have far-reaching consequences for criminal justice and public safety legislation across the nation. The United States and Israel have intensified military operations against Iran, targeting multiple sites within the country. This comes after Iranian-backed militias retaliated by launching missile attacks at Israeli and Arab state locations. This includes an apparent strike near the U.S. Embassy compound in Kuwait. According to the latest reports, these ongoing military campaigns have resulted in significant casualties on both sides. At least 555 people have been killed in Iran as a result of U.S.-Israeli strikes, according to the Iranian Red Crescent Society. In Israel, 11 fatalities were reported, and in Lebanon, the death toll has reached 31. The conflict has escalated rapidly since earlier skirmishes, drawing in multiple countries and organizations with deep-rooted interests in the region. Energy prices have surged due to supply disruptions caused by the fighting, impacting global markets significantly. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stated that the military operation could last for an unspecified period. This emphasizes the precision of the current aerial operations. Additional forces are being deployed to support these efforts. This includes Reserve and National Guard units from various states across the U.S. The situation remains volatile, with both sides continuing their retaliatory actions. Officials are closely monitoring developments as this conflict continues to unfold. 3 American F-15E jets were mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti air defenses during an Iranian attack, with all 6 crew members safely ejected and recovered in stable condition. The incident occurred as Iran conducted a coordinated assault involving aircraft, missiles, and drones near the border region. The U.S. military confirmed that friendly fire led to the downing of the jets while they were engaged in ongoing operations against Iran. Kuwait has acknowledged the accidental shooting and is cooperating fully with investigations into the cause of the incident. Explosions and flames were observed as one plane fell from the sky. Witnesses initially mistook a parachuting airman for an Iranian pilot before confirming his identity. The situation highlights the complex challenges faced by multinational operations in conflict zones where rapid response systems can lead to friendly fire incidents. Officials continue to assess the full implications of this event, while emphasizing the need for continued cooperation between allied forces in the region. Kuwait is working closely with U.S. military officials as they investigate the circumstances surrounding the mistaken downing of the jets. The situation remains under review, and further details are expected to emerge in the coming days. India and Canada have signed a landmark 10-year nuclear energy agreement in Delhi, marking a significant reset in diplomatic relations. Prime Ministers Narendra Modi of India and Mark Carney of Canada met on March 2 to finalize several collaborative agreements covering technology, critical minerals, space, defense, education. Plans for a free trade pact by the end of this year. The signing comes after a period of strained ties following allegations that Indian officials were involved in violent crimes in Canada. These tensions led to diplomatic expulsions and visa cancellations between the two countries. Since Carney took office last year, efforts have been made to rebuild the relationship, with both nations now prioritizing economic cooperation and strategic partnerships. The nuclear deal includes long-term uranium supply agreements and collaboration on small modular reactors. Both leaders emphasized their commitment to reaching $50 billion in bilateral trade by working towards a comprehensive economic partnership agreement by December 2026. Modi described India and Canada as natural partners in technology and innovation, underscoring the importance of this new chapter in relations. In closing, both nations are moving forward with renewed engagement, reflecting a pragmatic approach to geopolitical changes and mutual benefits. Officials from both sides remain optimistic about the future of their economic and strategic collaboration. In a significant escalation of tensions in the Middle East, the United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes against targets in Iran on Saturday. Following these attacks, Iran responded with missile and drone launches at Israel as well as 4 Gulf Arab countries hosting U.S. military bases. The initial strikes by the U.S. and Israel were reportedly aimed at Iranian military infrastructure and intelligence facilities within Iran's borders. Sources close to the situation indicate that among those affected was a compound belonging to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran. This state media subsequently reported had died as a result of the strikes. Iran's retaliatory actions included launching missiles and deploying drones toward Israel and other nations in the Gulf region. 4 targeted countries were Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, all of which are strategic allies to both the U.S. and Israel and host critical military assets. This sequence of events marks a dramatic shift in regional dynamics. This highlights growing concerns about potential further escalation and instability in the Middle East. Both sides have been engaged in an ongoing series of provocations over recent months, with this latest round escalating tensions to unprecedented levels. The situation remains fluid. Officials from both Iran and its adversaries are likely to issue statements clarifying their next moves and responses in the coming hours and days. In a video statement posted on Truth Social today, President Donald Trump warned that further casualties are likely as the conflict with Iran continues to escalate. 3 U.S. service members were killed recently, prompting the president's latest warning about potential additional losses. The president emphasized during his message that the United States will take decisive action against Iran following these recent events. He stated, "We will deliver the most punishing blow to the Iranian regime in response to their actions." Trump's warning comes at a time of heightened tensions between Washington and Tehran, reflecting an ongoing series of provocations and countermeasures. As this situation unfolds, it remains clear that both sides are prepared for further confrontation. Specific details about future steps have not been provided by either side. The focus now is on how the international community will respond to these escalations, and what measures might be taken to de-escalate the conflict. The situation continues to develop, with officials closely monitoring potential repercussions from this latest statement. The second day of military strikes between Israel and Iran, along with their regional allies and partners, continues to escalate tensions across the Middle East. United States forces have joined Israeli defense forces in targeting Iranian military sites for a second consecutive day. Israeli strikes have hit multiple locations within Iran, including central areas near Tehran, while Iranian retaliation has expanded beyond its borders, impacting targets in Israel as well as American naval facilities in Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. At least 9 civilians were killed today in an attack on an Israeli city, underscoring the increasing human toll of this conflict. Strikes across Iran have targeted key military installations in cities like Kermanshah, Qom, Isfahan, Tabriz, and Karaj, alongside naval facilities in Kenarak. Iran has vowed to continue its retaliatory attacks following the death of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which appears to have intensified regional hostilities. Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) activities include missile strikes on Israeli cities and United States bases in Bahrain. The situation remains fluid with ongoing military operations, posing risks for further escalations and civilian casualties across the region. Authorities are advising caution and urging residents near affected areas to stay informed about potential threats. In a coordinated operation carried out by the United States and Israel, missile strikes were launched on Saturday morning targeting key military and intelligence figures in Iran. Among those killed was Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran. The attack followed months of meticulous planning and intelligence gathering focused on identifying patterns and movements of Iranian leadership. Intelligence indicated that senior officials would be present at a compound in central Tehran. This leads to the decision to carry out the strikes during daylight hours when multiple figures were expected to meet. Israeli jets launched over 30 missiles against the target locations. This marks an escalation from previous targeted strikes against individuals linked to Iran's nuclear program. The precision of the attack underscores the effectiveness of advanced surveillance technologies used by United States and Israeli intelligence agencies in tracking high-profile targets. Iranian officials have confirmed that several top defense figures were killed alongside Khamenei, including Secretary Ali Shamkhani, Defense Minister Brig Gen Aziz Nasserzadeh, IRGC Commander Gen Mohammad Pakbar. President Masoud Pezeshkian declared himself safe after the strikes. The impact of this attack on Iran's leadership structure is yet to be fully understood. It is clear that plans for succession had been in place for top officials. As details continue to emerge, both nations involved are awaiting further developments and potential responses from Iran. A U.S. defense official provided an update to reporters on Monday, addressing ongoing military operations against Iran that began over the weekend under President Donald Trump's leadership. The statement came as diplomatic efforts over recent weeks aimed at averting conflict had failed. The defense official emphasized that despite these talks, military actions proceeded in coordination with Israel. Details of the specific locations and nature of these operations remain undisclosed. The official reaffirmed the U.S. stance without initiating this conflict but being resolute to address it through action under President Trump's guidance. This move is seen as a continuation of escalating tensions between Iran and its adversaries, with the situation still evolving. Officials are expected to provide further updates in the coming days regarding the ongoing military engagements and any diplomatic measures that may follow. The U.S. Congress is preparing for a vote that would limit President Donald Trump's ability to use military force unilaterally in Iran. This development comes after recent military actions against Iranian targets and ongoing debates about the balance of power between Congress and the president regarding foreign conflicts. Democrats, along with some Republicans, are backing legislation aimed at curbing executive authority over war powers in relation to Iran. Previous attempts to restrict presidential discretion in deploying military force have not succeeded. The vote is expected to take place at the U.S. Capitol, but a specific date has yet to be announced. This debate reflects a broader pattern of political discussions since the 2001 Authorization for Use of Military Force, AUMF, with periodic efforts to limit the president's ability to engage in military action without congressional approval. The current proposal is seen as an attempt to address concerns over unilateral executive decision-making in matters of war. The situation continues to evolve, and officials are closely monitoring developments ahead of the planned vote on Capitol Hill.